and the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown lesson.
Young
TV.
Yo, here we go. So the title of this one is just kicking it on some prosperous shit. Prosperous endeavors. Just kicking it on prosperous endeavors. I'm gonna let people get a chance to come in. And since we chiefing with the chief gonna start chiefing while we letting people come on in. Peace to the family, peace to the guys and the earths, peace to the motherfucking G's and the motherfucking VLs and the motherfucking almighty Peace Stone Nation, peace to the motherfucking Crips, sea walking across the land, to the motherfucking Blood Nation, Pyru's at the top. That's the Treetop Clan, the Treetop Pyru, Blood walking, they be walking across the land. This is just kicking it. I felt like I needed to vex a little bit while I burn a little bit. So we vexing and burning, chiefing with the chief. So we getting there. So about 3 more people come in. What's up? I'm glad you like the cut. My little brother, The Truth. This a couple days old. You should have seen it when it was fresh. Woo. Then they're starting to get the stubble coming back, so I don't got the baby face right now. I got the 2 o'clock shadow. We gotta wait for it to get a little bit thicker to be a 5 o'clock shadow. It's an early in the day shadow. So a lot of the stuff going on around the land, it's the people. It ain't the system no more. If y'all want to know what the hold up is, it's the people. It's no longer the system. The corporate legal fiction is now a defunct corporation. They done. They gone. Only problem is we building this new government, and the people ain't really ready to let go of the stage show, the Joe Biden affair, the trumped up Trump situation. They love that shit. Gossip. That's what they're relying on, gossip now. Because all that political shit, low vibrational, low frequency energy exchange matches the same frequency as gossip. So while we waiting on the people, the Empress and put out a call to clan mothers across the land, and they act like they're not getting a call to the right people. The whole thing is you got to know how to weed out the motherfucking weak. You got to weed out the weak. You got to weed out the scared. You got to weed out the ones who want it all for themselves in order for all of us to have something. We ain't in this for us. I ain't doing this shit for me. Empress ain't doing this for her. We doing this for the collective. I had my life. I ain't have to do nothing else. I could have went on about my business, but I had to come and tell y'all about y'all birthright, about y'all inheritance, about the usurpation of the rightful heirs. I had to tell y'all because I don't want to get to the other side after I leave this meat soup. I don't want to get to the other side and they say, why you ain't tell them motherfuckers? I've been telling them 5 years now. If they don't got it now, they not going to get it. It's a lot of motherfuckers that's not going to never get it. But this is a done deal. And the way you weed out motherfuckers is you let the public see who down with you. Who going to stick their motherfucking neck out with you when it's time to claim your shit back. Because them the motherfuckers that we got to get rid of first. So just because me or the empress give a public announcement and do a public notice to the clans and to the government or whoever we do a public notice or a public announcement, we ain't doing that shit just to be giving a public notice or making a public announcement. It's purpose, cause, and deliberate intentions behind this. If y'all don't know about power dynamics, you ain't ready for this game. My man told me on Facebook yesterday. He said, you know, this real life is like a jigsaw puzzle. My response, my mama pre-programmed me at an early age to put jigsaw puzzles together. I'm skilled in it. Been skilled in it since I was 2-3 years old. I've been putting jigsaw puzzles together. So I'm having a problem putting this puzzle together. I could go out and do anything I want, and I'm going to automatically be successful because it's in my nature. It's how I'm wired. I'm not going to go out here half-cocked, spewing shit out my head that I don't know what I'm talking about. I know sometimes the person that know what they talking about to the person that's never heard it before, they sound like they mentally unstable or that's some far-fetched shit. But when you go look behind it at the receipt and you be like, nah, that motherfucker know what he talking about. He know what the hell he talking about. So all this is strategic. Everything you see we do is strategic. It's all about seizing power, right? And you're going to have a whole bunch of motherfuckers going to come Johnny come lately with their hand all talking about, see, I was putting in the work too. No, when we call for your ass, you ain't show up. When we sent for you, you didn't show up. Farrakhan. When we sent for your motherfucking ass, you didn't show up. Talk all that liberation talk. Pound on your motherfucking chest. Let them motherfucking lanes go, but show the fuck up. Or shut the fuck up. You either show up or shut up. I mean, we not finna be having motherfuckers talking us to death, because that's what I'm tired of doing, talking motherfuckers to death, proving the point, right, that I know what I'm talking about with receipts. If I come with any more receipts, the goddamn receipt machine gonna jam. I can't come with, any more receipts gonna jam the machine. So we watching this trumped up stage show, mirror flipping, what's going on with the redemption process, and we thinking about Trump. It ain't got nothing to do with him. He just a motherfucking pawn in the place to hold a position until the motherfucking time that the power is seized by the rightful heirs. You can sit there and you, okay, keep believing that Biden shit real. Look, Joseph Robinette Biden was executed and buried. Go look it up. He buried at Arlington National Cemetery. If you go to Arlington National Cemetery website, type in Joseph Robinette Biden and put that motherfucker birthday in there, it's going to pop straight up. The only reason I know because I did it. So who is this person that they got pretending to be Biden? Who are these people? Because it ain't the same person all the time. Just like it's more than one Trump, It's about 7, 8 Bidens. Who is all these motherfuckers? Why do they need so many? Why they just can't keep using Jim Carrey or keep using James Woods? Right now it's leaking. I've been telling people this since 2019 that Joe Biden was being replaced and that they about to see an actor take on this play. They thought I was crazy. Then when I seen him, I said, that's Jim Carrey, straight out of Mask. So when I went back to the Saturday Night Live skit and I seen that they made him up to look like Joe Biden, I said, damn, with a couple of computer tweaks, he'd be a dead ringer for that clown. Then the CIA skin masks, y'all forgot about that. The CIA skin mask where it looked just like you and you ain't even on location. It'll look just like you and you ain't nowhere around, but it looked like you. You can't leave motherfucker on camera no more because motherfucker shit gonna be coming out. The reason why they doing this, let me show y'all why they cutting it off at the pass. That's what they call it. When you go around, go all the way down to where they gotta go get water and you cut them off at the pass. They can't get to the water. This is what they doing with the skin mask and with the deep fake artificial intelligence stuff. They pre-programming everybody to say that this Epstein, that this frazzle drip video footage of Hillary snatching this baby face off, video footage of William Jefferson Clinton having sex with that little baby down there on Epstein Island. Now they gonna say, well, that might not even be him. That might be a nigga in the skin mask. They already creating a defense right now. They feeding it to us so that when we do see the video footage, because they're gonna have to show it sooner or later. That shit can only stay hidden for so long. But when they finally come out with the video footage, right? Now we done been so exposed and oversaturated with skin masks, deep fake and green screen technology, ain't nobody gonna even believe the shit real. Watch what happened with Diddy. Though all of them was motherfucking outtakes from a movie he was filming. Watch. Half of that shit deep fake. People ain't even really there. Viable defense in the court of law by entertainment purposes. You got a right to conceal the making and the plot of a epic thriller before it's released. All he had to do was have that shit copyrighted under creative control, and all that shit is part of a movie and it's scripted, and they can't even prosecute him at that point because he's supposed to keep the movie script a secret according to the rules of Hollywood. Well, we don't keep track of that kind of stuff because we only concerned about our 9 to 5 day to day, take the kids to school, pick them up, give them a bath, put them to bed so I can go to bed so we can get up and do it all over a morning stage show running on the hamster wheel. That's what they got us doing. We don't have time to stop, look, listen, and see what's going on around us, so they keep us busy. Keep the inflation up, make you work yourself into a hole, trying to work yourself to freedom. Nobody in the history of the world ever worked their way to freedom. You know, it's not recorded nowhere. I haven't been able to find that anybody that was oppressed worked their way to freedom. The only way anybody oppressed in the history of the world ever got from under the oppressor is they overthrew that motherfucker, or another motherfucker came from somewhere else that didn't have nothing to do with it and just so happened to want something from there, and he deposed him. And then the people supported the new person to come in because they done things different. Y'all ain't paying attention. I can't tell everybody because everything I see, because it'll make a motherfucker really, really lose they become emotionally unhinged when you see this shit for what it is. Your emotions is your navigation system on planet Earth. When you not in physical form, you ain't got no emotions. What the fuck is that shit for? What purpose do it serve? If it's not to serve you the navigation and the communication between other humans, you don't have no cause or purpose for an emotion. So you pure information in your whole light body. You 100% data. All you is a bunch of binary code on a light wave frequency coming into the 3D realm, and now your emotions gonna dictate everything. When you supposed to read your emotions, you ain't supposed to let your emotions control you, and you give up the control to the emotion. That's like, I don't understand what all of this relationship drama about. The black woman don't want the black man. The black man don't want the black woman, and we can't find a good man. And now look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Don't believe me. Pay attention and check it out. The same women that complain about having a hard time getting a man, it's a sissy laying up under them. 98% of the time, it's a homo testicle laying up under him, telling her how to be a woman, and he a whole fucking man. And don't believe just because a motherfucker got a skirt on, because you see that now. They motherfucking doing picket signs so they can use the bathroom with the woman. Just take all her privacy away. All these women that's having man problems is close comrades with some homosexuals and lesbians that's telling them to have problems with their man. They looking for shit for her to have a problem with her man. That's why they don't want them positive sister circles like the Goddess Glow Up teaching these women how to step into their femininity, because now you a threat to the homotesticle and to the lesbian. I don't got no problem with nobody living the life they choose to live. That's their life, right? My problem is the mass motherfucking media campaign to convert unsuspecting children and lure them into a lifestyle that they not already wired for. They converting them, just like they convert motherfuckers from Judaism to Christianity, from Christianity to Islam. They converting these children into homosexuality, motherfucking cross-dressing and crisscross dressing, gender confusion. All that is control mechanisms to subjugate the people. And we keep falling for it. I ain't falling for it because I see it for what it is. I tell a boy, you're going to grow up to be a man. I don't tell him you're going to grow up to be a it. You're going to grow up to be a man, and the best thing that you can be is a good man. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes, but you can't beat yourself up because you made a mistake, because what damn one of us born with a handbook to say, here, you just came into this world. This is your rule book for your life in order for you to have your best life. We have to find it out and figure it out. Some of us figure it out. Some of us don't. Some of us figure it out too late, and some of us just figure it out later. But at the end of the day, boys supposed to both grow up to be boys, girls supposed to grow up to be girls. And if you got a problem with me not accepting you for who you is, then you didn't accept yourself for who God made you. You don't have a debate with me. Your debate is with God, who made you the gender he made you. God made you the gender that you is, not me. I didn't have nothing to do with that. All I'm just telling you is, don't tell me that I can't accept you for who the hell you is, when all the time you didn't accept you for who you was created to be. You let the society and the derelicts of the world dictate the parameters of your life and the expression of your lifestyle, and you think that the lifestyle that you live in is normal. Ain't none of us living a normal life. A normal life is a farmer's life. A normal life is how farmers live. Farmers live a normal life. If you live in the city, no matter how big, how small, if you live in a city life, you're not living a normal life. That's contrary to the nature of the species. Right? So the farmers is the only ones doing shit right. Maybe we ought to go and study them motherfuckers and find out how we can use some of that holistic stuff from the farm in the city to make the city become more holistic, so it can stop destroying all of the people that go into the city. You got to be a bad mofo to offend that. Look. A long time ago, they wrote it on a piece of paper. at the close of the age that we was going to see everything we seeing now. I'm tired of pointing it out because it's like it's falling on deaf ears and the people not really getting what they supposed to be getting because they not understanding the message and the lesson. I'm to the point now where it is nothing else that I can do. I ran its course, right? Proof. I'm not even trying to prove nothing no more. I already proved the point 100 times over on each critical point. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. So all of them points have been proven hundreds of times over, and it still ain't enough. You got the conscious community that don't know, they think they scientists, but they don't know the simplest of science. Then you got the motherfucking so-called spiritual community. But when you start telling them how spirit really worked versus how they was told it worked, they get mad at you. Then they start disgracing your name. Then they start sending people to attack you. Then you got the Moors want us to believe we was all Moors when there was no time on earth where any one whole collective of tribes was called Moors. They was always a separate tribe unto themselves. They wasn't even called Moors at first. And it went through 100 names. You need 100 names when you're trying to hide who you is. When you ain't trying to hide who you is, you can say, I'm organic original to right here. That's all you need. That's your identity and your identification. But they want you to believe that all of us over here. Now, they tell us in the books. Now go back and read this in the history books. And this ain't for all of the Moors, just the ones that be on that bullshit. The dirty Moors is what we call them. Go back and look in the history books. All of the Europeans, including the ones that look like us that ain't us, wrote in their journals. They different tribes of people. They got a common cultural thread. They all good, kind-hearted, caring, loving people. That's all of them wrote that. Okay, now the problem is, if they already know we all tribed up. We tribed up when they come. They wrote it in their journals we was tribed up. They gave the tribes different names because they couldn't pronounce the shit that the natives was talking because they was talking the native tongue. Since they couldn't pronounce it, they just ascribed you a name called an exonym. So then they labeled, category, and grouped people together under classifications to enforce a caste system predicated upon some doctrine called white supremacy that some Negropeans wrote over in Europe and brought it over here as a war strategy. And we fell for it. So when you look back and you say, okay, this brother that came, only person probably got more receipts than him is Malachi York. Farrakhan don't got more receipts than me. He got more lectures and instructional videos than I do, but he don't got more receipts. Even Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey had a hell of a collection of writings, but he wasn't ironing out the confusion of the history. He was ironing out the prospect of the confusion of the future so that the ones in the future can figure out how to iron the problem out in their present. Right? Same with Du Bois. Y'all think because Du Bois was Red House and Garvey was Blue House and they told us they was beefing that they was beefing. That's your Biggie, Tupac, East Coast, West Coast beef. Come on now. Your mainland islander beef. They telling you they beefing, but how in the hell is both of them attributed for being the father of Pan-Africanism? That don't make sense to me. Depending on, so it's two schools of Pan-Africanist thought. One is the Garveyites, and the other ones is from Du Bois. Du Bois tied back to Frantz Fanon and the French Moors who was trying to break the stronghold. Garvey traced back to the islanders. He's a Jamaican, original Jamaican. right? And so he come from down there because he didn't master the blue house. He's the court guard. He need to go to war, but he can't go to war because we trapped in a war country. So he can't go to war. He got to educate us out of it. So what he do? Start putting out newspapers like 90 Going North. He started writing books. He started writing all kind of message to the people for Marcus Garvey. That's one of the coldest books I ever read for us. Then Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. He went on a lecture campaign to teach. He did all this stuff well, in the future, one of these motherfuckers gonna have enough sense to say, oh, wait, he ain't telling us to literally go back to Africa. He's saying communicate with the motherfuckers over there. And the African gonna tell you, you know African? You know, your people know from Africa? Well, where the fuck we from? Mississippi Delta. Clay dirt walking. Ruddy red. Right? Then they gave these Hebrew Israelites, right? And these are militant, staunchly militant brothers with that patriarchal agenda subjugating the women. If that's what they choose to do and the women agree with it, I don't have nothing to say about that part. But I got something to say about this part. They keep calling pale faces Edomite. Edomite means from the earth. It tells you that right in the book. And we formed him from the dust of the earth. Therefore, we called his name Adama. Edom, the ruddy red one, that Mississippi clay dirt walking Negro. But we ain't gonna pick that up. See, they gonna keep calling the pale face Edomites, and then they gonna keep referring to themselves as some Jews, some Hebrews, Israelites, right? This is what they teach. The Hebrew Israelites, they got the nation of Israel. You got your Hebrew Israelites, and you got the ones that used to be under Yahweh ben Yahweh, but he gone now. Then you got the ones under Benjamin Carter. You know, all of these Negroes teaching this shit don't even know what the fuck they talking about, and they standing on that shit like they standing on business. The only thing is the book that say business, it read Book of Lies. Say Bible stand for basic instructions before leaving earth. I think it means basic instructions about lying to everyone. Cause they didn't master that. 5%ers, they straight. They did they followed the tribal mandate from the land to when Clarence 13 next set that up. It was for the chiefs that chief. Nation of Islam wasn't for them. This is why he had to set up the nations of gods and earth, because you got tobacco chiefs. Every time they come in the physical form, they're looking for tobacco. You got marijuana chiefs, right? Where you get the term chiefing from. And every time they come back, they gonna use the 420 for the late night flight in order to walk in the dream realm, in order to see what's going on in the physical realm. And then it's going to tie them into the collective of all of the chiefs that ever lived to draw information from historical records of mental reservoir into the present, what we call reading the Akasha. Even that shit, Akasha. Ka-sha. Sha is shoe. The A and the I it's a definite article in the ancient tongue, like the word the. And Ka means the body. Shu is the sacred wind or the sacred spirit. And Shu and Tefnut is been replaced with Shu and men in order to have a homosexual frequency resonating. Which I don't have no problem with them people doing what they want to do on their own terms. Just don't be forced. I don't think straight people need to be forcing sex on kids. When the child come and start asking you about sex, Then it's time to teach them about sex. But if the child's trying to play with his Tonka toys and the girl's trying to play with her Barbie dolls, you don't need to be talking to them about no damn sex. That ain't on their mind. If you plant that seed too early, that motherfucker gonna hatch early. The girls that grow up not thinking about sex till they teen years, they don't normally lose their virginity till they in their 20s. But the ones that get talked about sex all the time in first grade, second grade, and they getting saturated with that shit, they gonna be a motherfucking teenage mama. They gonna want to know what the hell is these people talking about and how do you do it? I'm gonna find somebody to show me. And it ain't gonna be hard to find somebody to show her, because the little boys have been taught the same thing, so they running around like little horn dogs. So the parents and the grandparents and the uncles and the auntie have been systematically removed from the influence of the child. They've systematically replaced the familial influence over children, and they put it in the hands of what they call celebrities, artificial stellar alignments, artificial star systems. They not the real stars. The real stars is that hard-working mom and pops who acted out for 65 years, got 45 great-great-grandkids, and all of their kids, great-grandparents now too. So them the ones that's the real star that held that family together with the bullshit we going through. Look, they got people so selfish now. The selfishness on earth right now in the chapter of misery has never been so high. This is the most selfish motherfuckers that ever been in the history of the planet. And I remember past lives like I remember this one. And I'm telling y'all now, this selfishness right now is this is a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior that spread across humanity like a forest fire. Jealousy is contagious, and jealousy is a mental defect and a mental disorder. They used to call it dementia praecox, and it was a form of schizophrenia. But they wanted to see if they can replicate the teaching of jealousy, and it works. It works. You see the kids teaching the other kids how to be jealous in church. What they do? The good girl go to her auntie and, can I hold my little cousin? And then she take her around and show all her little friends her little cousin, right? And then the little baby see one and reach for him, and what she do? Pull him back. Pull him back, right? What that's doing? It's programming jealousy. It's teaching them to differentiate the value in people and to disregard your inner desire to connect with people based on what another motherfucker is telling you. But the child don't know what they doing because it was done with them when they was a baby. So they just repeating the cycle. These motherfuckers threw that shit like an alley-oop straight into our communities because they knew how communal we was. They knew how our children played amongst each other, and they started then instilling jealousy, hatred, mistrust, all that shit they was instilling into them and turning them on each other. Teaching the ones to break peace, gossiping motherfuckers. My man, I heard of, I posted this on my, in my story last week, but my man was doing a rap. And this motherfucker started out with the hardest lines I ever heard. This motherfucker said, I'm tired of gossiping bitches and bitch ass niggas that gossip like bitches. I was like, oh man, he just confirmed everything I felt in one little sentence. Sick of these motherfuckers. Sick of them, sick of them, sick of them. So, Young Elder's birthday was on the 2nd. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. So I'm gonna see if I can't get in touch with Young L and do a show on his page or something for commemorate his birthday. Probably do a Q&A or something. Yep. But the people now waking up faster than they ever have, but it ain't fast enough for this shit to be over. We running out of time. This celebration is coming up too fast for us to be functional during it. We're going to be doing construction and celebrating at the same time. We supposed to did the construction this year. Somebody somewhere dragging their feet. That ain't me. It ain't Empress Rearbird. It's all these other motherfucking niggas that's going to want a piece of the pie that's dragging their feet. And when we tell them motherfuckers get to the end of the line and we'll consider you, they going to feel like they've been, oh, these motherfuckers. No. When you had the opportunity to use your resources and your platform for the collective to move on this shit, y'all was dragging y'all feet. So we dragging our feet on getting you your shit. Hope you can make it. The fiat did. What you gonna do? Right? So, nursery rhymes was to teach children how to read what they call rhythmic code. The nursery rhymes of today is called rap music. And the messages that come through the music tell you more accurate information than the news reporter on the 6 o'clock news about the environment that you in. It's determining whether you can, if you can pick the code up. All of the rappers been telling us shit over the years. Even the ones that we call trash, right? The rappers that we didn't want to hear because we didn't like what they was talking about. They telling you something. Lil Nas X is telling you something. Young Thug is telling you something. 2 Chainz, Titty Boy is telling you something. Are y'all listening and are y'all reading or are y'all just skimming through shit? Jay-Z was telling y'all something. No, he wasn't a conscious rapper, but he was still telling you some conscious shit you need to know for fucking around in the streets. Jeezy was telling you something. Lil Wayne was telling you something. Wheezy F baby. Mean Wheezy fucking baby. Come on now. They telling you shit about the people around them in their music, but can you hear it? Right? I wish Birdman would pull up on me to about put some respect on my name. I will put some respect on his teeth with this motherfucking right. I can't stand him. Cause he's a whole buck breaker. He's a whole buck breaker. He get these little boys from the hood, promising them record deals and forcing them to some sexual shit. And it got nothing to do with music. Unless he making a music video about some freaky shit. But then he would, look, these niggas is rotten to the motherfucking core. They rotten to the core and they want us, the ones that gotta suffer for they fucking dirt, to not say nothing. Bitch ass nigga, I'm saying something. Right? You think that shit, that Diddy shit ain't new? That Diddy shit ain't new. All they did was try to shuffle the ball, a flea flicker. Right? They accusing Diddy of the same shit they accused Epstein of. And the same shit that look, on Epstein Island, y'all not need to know the history. They got black and white 35 millimeter film of motherfuckers back in the motherfucking silent film era doing the same dirt that they got these other motherfuckers doing on telephone camera now. This is not new. Ever since Hollywood been established, you needed a way to control your hottest talent so you can milk them for everything they worth. If you can't control them, then you blackball them. Listen, you remember it was a guy played on Welcome Back Kotter I don't remember his name, but one of y'all gonna remember his name. And Welcome Back Carter, he was Freddie Boom Boom Washington, right? He was the fastest and hottest rising one of us. I don't even know what to call us no more. These niggas are so fucked up. But he couldn't get a role. I was like, what did this motherfucker do where he can't get a role? Coming to find out, they wouldn't give him a part in anything. He couldn't even get a commercial because he wouldn't fuck babies. He wouldn't molest them kids on set. He didn't go to their child abuse parties. Yep, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. That's his name. He couldn't get a role until they came with the VH1 special. And Michael Jackson said, the only way I'll sign off if y'all let him play Joe. If he don't play Joe, I'm not going to sign off on the Jackson's right to do the VH1 special. So they cast him as Joe Jackson in the Jackson series. Why did they do that? Go back. Back in the early 90s, I think it was like 91, before Michael ever waged war on Hollywood. When he decided to wage war, he was doing a VH1 or either an MTV Music Award. Most of us not going to remember this, but some of us old enough was in their 20s around this time. They going to remember exactly what I'm talking about. Michael Jackson, at the end of his performance, had these huge turbine fans blowing his shirt to the back. And he stood up on the stage and did something called the T-pose. And all of these kids came running out, grabbing Mike around the legs. That's when Michael Jackson was telling us, I'm about to sacrifice myself for these kids. The next thing that happened after that, it wasn't no sex thing. They was accusing him of nefarious business deals for buying the Beatles catalog from under Paul McCartney, and they was trying to wage war on him in the courts to get the 52% of Sony that he worked them out of through contracts. When he executed the contract, he had control and interest. He had control and interest. And having control and interest, he owned the company. Now they trying to take Sony from him. This is way back in 91, 92. I used to be listening to the contract reports of Michael Jackson, and I used to be like, that's something, he's smart because he keep asking for percentages of Sony. Every time he signed a contract, he asking for percentages of Sony. Each contract is executed separately because they signed separate one from the other. They're not a continuation of the original negotiation. But so these pieces that Sony is signing off. Now remember, Mike is at this time, Thriller is, they catch the record companies using other artists' label, relabeling the albums with the other artist's label so that all of the record sales from Thriller can stop going straight to Michael Jackson's credit. Now they selling Thriller under John Mellencamp album or Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen. So now they using other record sales, attributing Michael Jackson Thriller sales to other artists that's not even on the same label off of the way that they are barcoding the labels on Michael Jackson's records. He was the first artist they was doing that to, and then they started doing it to hip-hop artists. Right? So they couldn't get him they couldn't make him unown what he owned because he used the same shit they used on the sharecroppers by putting little clauses in the contracts that allow them to subvert the land from the sharecropper. Once you know what they doing, you can play so they thinking they getting over on Mike, and Mike leveraging them out of Sony. All he need is controlling interest. And he got it. Now, around this time is when Prince realized that Warner Brothers is rediverting his money and undermining his success, and he goes to war with him in the courts. They want his unpublished catalog more than they want the stuff that he got out. So they was willing to give him all of his albums that he produced and put out, but they didn't want to budge on the unpublished material because they believe that his unpublished material in his demise is going to be able to give new Prince albums for the next 150 years. And that's a long time to make money off a motherfucker after they gone. Of that magnitude. You steady getting a new Prince album for 150 years, every couple of years. Double album here, triple album there. Right? But because of the contracts, they was doing all this stuff to artists, is which brings about Tupac, Biggie, East Coast, West Coast, bring down the music industry from the inside out by exposing the elites in the dirt that they do and how they getting it done and who's supporting that shit. So that's how it worked. That's the name of the game. But now we over here, like I'm telling y'all the shit that I see, but the shit don't click sometime for weeks. And the motherfucker be like, damn. Did he mean when he said, that's exactly what the fuck I meant? It didn't click. It's like right now, it sounds like I'm just having a coherent discussion, but it's shit that y'all missing in this discussion already. Yeah. So somebody reported on X that Mike said he'd be back about June the 10th. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but they posted it. I didn't post it. I got it. I was going to do some posts, but my Instagram been shadow banning me and blocking my shit. But he said June the 10th. This week right here supposed to be the heat up. I don't know what's about to happen. I can tell you this. On the 3rd, you got a planetary alignment, right? And you're going to be able to see it from Earth. Now, I want y'all to think about that. So what is the position of Earth in relation to the planets to see all of the planets in a straight line? And that, the immortal words of Dr. Umar, don't that sound suspicious? Ain't that suspicious? That's suspicious. Right? Yep, Dave Davis, Michael Jackson. I went over all that stuff years ago in the video when I was decoding Michael Jackson. The whole Obama is Rosemary's Baby, the Demon Seed, Damien, the Omen 1, 2, 3. That's all the Obama story. They was telling you who the boy was while he was growing up, and he ain't even know yet. They cloned Akhenaten as part of the Nazis' Third Reich cloning program. They wanted a god that they could control. So they wanted one that they thought could pull rank on King Tut. So they say the only person that could pull rank on him and he might go along with it be his daddy. So they cloned Akhenaten and produced this motherfucker Barry Sotoro. Right? And that's why he don't have a birth certificate. And that's why Trump was making all that stink about his birth certificate and offered to pay $1 million to anybody who could produce his birth certificate. And notice nobody ever collected that money, but they produced a birth certificate. And the lady who produced the birth certificate mysteriously ended up dead. And I forgot, I think she had a plane crash in the Pacific or some shit, or Atlantic or some shit they said. No, in the Pacific. She was supposed to be leaving Hawaii. There's some old Clinton-esque Hillary Clinton fingerprint type assassination that you make you like, wait a minute, that don't sound right, right? Because she was on her way to go testify about the birth certificate that was on file, and so they had the CIA was it's a video floating around. Y'all need to check it out about the birth certificate, because the CIA agent who was assigned to validate the birth certificate invalidated the fucking birth certificate. And make sense. You go hire somebody to validate something, and they show you the whole fraud of why they can't validate it. Yeah. I'm gonna go look for that video and I'm gonna post it in my story. So be watching my story. I'm gonna find that video where the CIA agent. Remember, if America elect a president that was not born in America, it's the death of the country. That's called an active insurrection. A hostile overthrow of the government, a coup d'etat. If they don't have a birth certificate saying Barack Obama was born in a hospital over here and he was born in the Philippines, or he was born in a laboratory in Amsterdam or Germany or wherever they cloned his ass at, if he don't have a birth certificate from over here, that's how long America been dead. That's why Trump was making the big deal about the birth certificate. Yeah. I don't know. They probably is butchering this signal because I'm on one today. I'm just dragging all of the dirty lines y'all out. Yep. I got TikTok, but I can't. I'm only one person. I be moving like it's a whole crew, but it's just me. So I try to stay where people can find me the easiest and try to stay in as few locations as possible when I do my lives. So they know where I'm at. Right? So I make me easy to find, right? And people sharing the clips on TikTok, so the information is getting out over there, right? But when I do my lives, I'm right here. That's where I'm at. And then the people know exactly where Rod Hayes do his live. He right, okay, that's where he at, right? So we go through roller coaster rides, never knowing that each one of the dips in the roller coaster, it's not gonna do nothing to you. All it's gonna do is tickle your stomach. Come on now. We're going over this roller coaster. We acting like all of these dips is new. It's none of this new. Ain't nothing new under the sun. We done did all this before in a different way. Any kind of directive that you could, this is the only way we haven't done it yet, the way we doing it now, and that's why we doing it this way. So that now all timelines is complete because we move to the singularity once all timelines is complete. It's the breaking of the code. Right? Oh yeah, I ain't got no problem with telling it like it is. I can't be politically correct because the politics ain't correct, so fuck them. Yeah. But people don't see the dirt being done to them by the people that they hold in esteem as authority figures. They only see the dirt that's done to them by people that they classify as an equal. If they classify you as a superior, you go into this psychological programming that tells you, oh, I must have did something to deserve it. But if you dealing with an equal, you will fight that motherfucker tooth and nail about what you call disrespecting you. But that's that God gene, that Anunnaki God gene bullshit. Hold people in reverence because they got all these trinkets. That's how Machiavelli knew how to play you. You got all these goddamn trinkets and shit on your jacket. like you really doing something. Them pop bottle caps, motherfucker. That's all they equivalent to me is a pop bottle cap. And then you got these sewed on stripes making you look like you really important. And you got a real neat, tight suit, high and tight haircut. You got on your Marine, Army, Navy, Air Force cap, and you think that because you in uniform, that we don't know that your uniform system is to deceive us into believing